The Niger Delta Development Commission is still the hottest news item on the front burner of national discourse after two personalities involved in its affairs in recent times engaged in a media free-for-all last week. Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Godswill Akpabio, and a former managing director, Interim Management Committee of the NDDC, Dr. Joy Nunez, may have had their fight. The many stakeholders in the oil-rich region, including thousands of other Nigerians on social media, are wondering how far their personal misunderstanding can go in addressing the salient issues and advancing the cause of development in the Niger Delta. Joining us now to address some of these issues at risk of being forgotten is Kolawole Johnson, Head, Directorate of Research, Strategy and Programs at the Anti-Corruption Watchdog Act for Positive Transformation Initiatives. He's also a member of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. Kolawole Johnson, good morning, and thank you for honoring our invitation to be part of the morning show. Quickly, I'm sure you two must have been...
Thank you, sir, Doc.
Yes, good to see you. Now, I'm sure you two must have been entertained by that drama between the various gladiators in the NDDC issue. But our concern here is that, yes, while all of that may be titillating and entertaining, are we losing focus? What are the big issues? Why is it that we're not focusing on the big challenge of how to make the NDDC effective and how to get to a resolution point with regard to the original allegations of fraud, corruption, and mismanagement of opportunities at the NDDC? What are your thoughts?
First, I think it wasn't really entertaining. I think it was rather embarrassing. First, you brought the former MD who made specific allegations that borders on misgovernance. And in the reply of the minister, I went straight to personal issues. As a matter of fact, I was expecting the woman to start such, so it was a little more embarrassing to see the minister starting such personal issues. I would have expected him to stop at certificates. Of course, you can raise that valid. And I think we also, did some stuff about that in the month of January. We wrote some petitions, incidentally against Dr. Joy Nunez. But when the minister went for her personal life, I think that was not matured at all. And he dragged himself into this opprobrium today. He dragged himself out. For example, I'm very sure that quite a number of persons knew about the slap incident that happened right here in Abuja long ago, not now. It's not new, When I was on, I remember making a comment maybe about 12 hours or less than 24 hours before she came in, before you brought her and she mentioned that slap issue. I said, I wish the woman can talk about some things that happened between them, who did what to who. And I just stopped there. I didn't want to talk, and she came here to say it. And I think the minister called for that. However, something is missing because that frenzy, that to some, it was entertaining. But to me, I think it was rather embarrassing. And the entertaining part just took over the space while we take our attention, and it successfully took our attention away at first from the main issues of misgovernance, maladministration, fraud, corruption going on in the commission. I think, but a few days after or days after, I think the issue has been redirected again, and it is a good thing that your station also, which has taken the lead in this agitation, of course, you're redirecting the issue again. What are the issues? We said at first, thank God that you know the history. When I came here first, I came to talk about, I think we issued a statement and you invited us for a Mute News analysis where we said that we wrote petitions to the National Assembly on some corruption going on in the Niger Delta Development Commission. And we said, we suspected, based on facts and figures, that between 44 and 49 billion naira had been misappropriated or stolen or looted. Now, days after, the National Assembly raised a motion to probe the commission. And they said they pegged the theirs at 40 billion. Perhaps they have done some investigation. And the commission came out to say there is nothing like that. That there was nothing like that. That they had only spent 22 billion naira all through the period. But we maintain that this figure of 22 billion is far below what you spent. They insisted. Then later, we did some further findings. Our team of auditors sat on the document we had, and we discovered that, we can't even be talking about 45 billion naira. That the amount in question is well over 80 billion naira. Again, we came out with that. They denied again. I remember that you showed the clips of Charles Odili, the Director of Corporate Affairs of the agency, of the ES Commission, who maintained the 22 billion naira. Now, a few weeks after, we noticed that they sent a letter to the National Assembly requesting for virement, specifically to cover up the amount under probe. And we raised hell. We raised the roof. We cried out. And again, that was faulted. They couldn't go ahead again with that. Now, investigation day got prolonged. We were wondering, were the National Assembly not ready to probe or to investigate these guys? Suddenly again, we saw that some games were ongoing. We raised the alarm again in the public space. And finally, the investigation came. In the Senate, you saw the figures reeled out. Just before then, the agency published their expenditures on project, and they declared 33 billion naira. We came out to say that was a smart way of being deceptive in transparency, that was a lie. We maintained the figure. In fact, that was when we even said that the figure is about 81 billion naira. Then we said clearly that the agency has spent over 10 billion on illegal allowances. We gave some documents out then. Finally, the investigation came, the Senate first. I was there. I got seated, myself and my team. And the figures were reeled out. And they reeled out the figures directly from NDDC, not even what the CBN gave, because the CBN document shows that they have spent 92 billion, not 80 billion that they declared. And the CBN cannot be wrong. 92 billion naira. So, and some things came out from that. The MD himself agreed that they gave themselves 1.5 billion as palliative for COVID. And they asked, were they not receiving salaries? He said yes. That they had to, that after all, they run the commission, they have to take care of themselves. Just like they've been taking care of themselves with several billions in illegal allowances and contract scam. So that was the situation before the drama that happened. But now back to the real issue.
Okay, so I'm going to come in here, and I beg to differ slightly. I wouldn't describe as entertainment an allegation of sexual harassment. That is a serious allegation. Every political appointee or public office holder...
It's embarrassing.
May I finish? It's not just merely embarrassing. It's actually serious. People have the right to discharge their duties without harassment or undue influence. So I have to make that point. And we did make that point here during that whole expose, I will call it, that the real issue is the failure to serve the people of the Niger Delta, which NDDC was established to do 20 years ago, with hardly anything to show for it. So now you have established the information you gave to the Senate, which prompted the Senate to create this committee. Nigerians are actually completely sick and tired of performative probes. What do you think is going to come out of this, if anything tangible? What will happen? We need to see people brought to book. We need to see heads roll. Do you think that that is a possibility here?
Well, for me, I have my reservation. But for once, I want to believe that Nigerians are quite involved in this. I would be deceiving myself if I say that we're involved in this alone. No. You need to see how people are supporting from from every angle. People are crying, especially the students abroad who are stranded abroad, whose tuition had not been paid or has not been paid by the same commission who sent them on scholarship, who gave them scholarship. So the noise is everywhere. I doubt if any individual will want to bring his or her head out for this. And I can assure you, we will cut any head that comes. Because, listen, it took us over 1 year of serious investigation, of serious mining of document, of serious gathering of information, confirmation and all that before coming out. Now, we changed our strategy sometimes last year that we'll be making noise, we'll raise allegation here, make noise there, and at the end, nothing serious happens. You heard the government agency saying, don't worry, it will soon fizzle out, they will soon be tired. So we decided to now make this a project affair. You sit with one, ensure you finish before you move to another. For example, we have two, in fact, immediate two to move on to right after this. So we believe that we should bring closure to this with this probe, number one, and with petitions before the anti-corruption agencies. I doubt if anybody will want to do that. But of course, you know the antecedents of the National Assembly also. So we are not taking anything for granted. We are not taking chances. We are watching every move. We are watching everyone. Don't forget that we were the first to accuse that it appears the National Assembly was about colluding with the Commission to sweep this under the carpet when we revealed or exposed our letter was smuggled to NAS on environment covering the same amount that is under probe. So I think our arsenals are on. We are watching every single individual involved in this. So if they attempt to probe, of course, we'll cry to you again, free of charge, you will host us again. We'll cry to the entire Nigerian. So I doubt if we will want to do that. But back to the main issue, okay? All right, so back to the main issue. I'd like to state very clearly that our disappointment mostly has been with the presidency. And I'll be very careful in this because everyone knows that the president abhors corruption. But it is appearing as though there is no action against ongoing corruption, not just in NDDC, in some other places. Now, I take, for example, you know how Dr. Joy said that they went to FEC to deceive FEC. Is it that they don't have fact and figure? Number two, you understand that by law, the NDDC ought to be submitting reports to the president every quarter. Have they been doing that? So if they have been doing that, aren't they checking their books? Number three, when the minister wrote to the president, on October 25th, requesting for 6 months of IMC so that they can conduct forensic audit, he gave the lifeline of the forensic exercise to be 6 months. Unfortunately, 6 months after, they were yet to procure forensic editors. The only thing they had was a lead consultant that was advertised in February, over 3 months after they came into office. And 3 months after, they were yet to procure forensic auditors. It was after the National Assembly raised the motion to probe them that they rushed to BPP towards the end of May to ask for waiver to procure auditors. And in that sense, the minister himself handpicked the forensic auditors they want to use. And how can you guarantee a thorough job done? I repeat, nobody will go back to the past 20 years to audit the Niger Delta Development Commission. This is the only time we have to nail everyone involved in the squandering of the money that belongs to the people in that place. For example, part of the contract scam we mentioned, I gave you 4 companies then that got contract without approval, that got contract above the approval limit of those involved. I gave you 4 companies also that their contract scam, their contract award ran against procurement laws. That is 5 years imprisonment for those who are involved in that. And when we raised alarm, we discovered that 2 of those companies, they stopped further processing, or they stopped further work on their contract. The 4 companies were Osmosav, number 2, AHR Global, number 3, Julius Dinger, then 4, Tails Buildings and Logistics. Now, of these 4 companies, 2 of them, they discontinue the contract. Julius Dinger was paid 98 million naira after tax on the 22nd of April for consultancy on awareness campaign against COVID-19. Then Tails Logistics was paid money to train health workers, was given that contract for 268 million naira. The Julius Dinga contract was 749 million, but paid 15%. Now, the contract for Tails was 268 million. They paid them 40 million plus, but 35 million entered into the account after tax. Now, they were meant to train health workers, and this company is not even health related. So after we raised the alarm, they discontinued those two companies. But Osmoserve Nigeria Limited and AHR Global, they continue with their contract.
Okay.
And we discovered at the end of the day that, no, sorry, this is very important. Doctor, please, this is very important. Now, we
no, this is not doctor, this is refined.
That AHR Global and Osmoserve belong to the same person, who is Abu Peter Rebel. We only knew about the owner of Road. AHR and Roadmap belong to the same person. Sorry, not Osmoserve. Sorry. So many of those who were involved in those contract scams, belong to people who can be traced to the minister. I say it, let the Nigeria security agencies investigate the link between Abu and the Honorable Minister of Niger Delta Affairs. Okay. So those who are left involved in the money that came out can be traced to the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs.
Okay, I want to come in here. You say you have facts. Huh? You say you're right with your facts, so you have the mind. Let us see those facts you have. I want to see it. You said you did 1 year investigative work on this. Let us see those facts. What are those facts? Because I saw you debating on television with Cairo Jubo, and you brought out some very, very salient facts. I want to see them. Hard facts.
Okay, which one do you want? Let me start from there.
The contracts. The contracts, the date of payment made, how much it cost, what was the approval process like?
Okay, one, Osmoserve Nigeria Limited was given a contract of 4.86 billion naira. And they were paid 729 million, was processed for payment on the 15th and 16th of April. And they got paid into the account on the 28th of April, 638 million after tax. They got additional, and that was before approval of Mr. President that came on April 30. Now, they got additional payment on the 4th of May. The 4th of May, they got about 1.696 billion naira. Then by 22nd of May, they got additional 2-point-something billion naira. And it came to a total of 4.553 billion. Number one. And if you give somebody a contract of 4.86 billion, and you ought to deduct 12.5% tax, how come that they got 4.553 billion? So Nigeria was shortchanged, even when we know that contract was against extant laws. Number two, Julius Dinga was given contract for consultancy on awareness campaign against COVID-19. 749 million naira on consultancy on awareness campaign. He was paid 15% mobilization. After tax, he got 98 million on the 22nd of April. I move from there. AHR Global was given a contract to supply social parks for about 1.246 billion naira. Then he got paid about he got paid on the 22nd of April. And he got further payments about a month after. Yes, 22nd or so of May. And in total, he got about 465 million naira. Then you have another company again that was paid, Tails, that was given contract for training of health workers. And basically, they didn't train anything.
How much did that company get?
Number two.
The company that was giving contract for training of health, how much did they get?
After tax.
How much did they get? How much did they get again?
They got 35 million naira after tax. Sorry, let me just correct something very, very quickly. I made a mistake this morning, and that needs to be corrected immediately. Osmosav is not owned by Abu, please. It is Roadnap and AHR that are owned by Abu. Roadnap and AHR. And this guy is linked to the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs. I repeat, let the security agency...
What is his link to the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs? What is his link to the minister? You can't say it's linked without just showing us the link. What's the link? Please let me stop at this stage, okay? That there's a link between them. And I've said let our security agencies probe the account of this company, Roadnap Nigeria Limited, that is handling the headquarters. Do you know they have spent so much on that headquarters? A director came to Senate to say they have spent a total of 13 billion on the headquarters. So that is not what you glide over. So I'm trying to correct the mistake I made this morning that Osmosav and AHR belong to Abu. No, it was a mistake, an error. It is a Roadnap and AHR that belong to Abu. And these are the companies that got the highest money in that place in the last few months. So I repeat that the security agency should please probe and establish, if they can, the link between Abu, the owner of Roadnap and AHR, and the Honorable Minister of Niger Delta Affairs. I repeat again, let them investigate and come forward with their findings. Then I move ahead. We also allege that they were paying themselves illegal allowances. We gave, for example, what the MD was getting or is getting every month for interest, just full the interest on just few items on his guest house and his personal security. He gets 51.6 million naira every single month. And he gets additional 10 million naira for entertaining guests. So that's 61 million naira.
Every month, what he does. Yeah, 51.6 million naira.
Okay. Is that minus his salary? Minus the salary, minus other money he gets.
Okay. 51.6 million naira for his guest house interest, for his personal security. Although they added project monitoring, that is a lie, because the budget head already have provision for project monitoring, and that particular budget line has been overdrawn by over 200%.
And we Kolawole Johnson.
By over 200% within the same period. So no, let me land on that, please, Doctor. Let me land on that. Please. Let me land on that. Now, what they do is every single month, they don't collect to their own personal account. They route it to staff account. I'll give you two instances. Professor routes his own through a staff called Owefe Justina through that staff account. That
Which professor?
Has ID number, I think 94, thereabout. Huh?
Which professor is that? You said professor. Who is
you
professor?
Said what?
Who is professor? You said professor. Who is professor?
Yeah.
Professor
Ponde, the MD of the agency.
Okay.
Professor Ponde, the MD of the agency. Yes. Now, let me also go straight to Dr. Cairo. Dr. Cairo also collects 18 million naira every month for the same interest, guest house interest. And he also wrote his own through another staff account. Just like you watched that program, he said if he wants to steal, that he wouldn't use his own account. It's correct in some cases. In this case, that is very correct. He uses staff account. The name of the staff is Eno Okwe. With staff ID card 94 thereabout, I'll cross-check and be very specific. I don't want to make the same mistake I made on a station this very morning. But that is the name of the staff, Eno Okwe, that he uses to route his own money through 18 million every month. So we again reveal that. Now, we again said there are staff that also get free money every month, special interest. And we gave name that, for example, Charles Odili, the Director of Corporate Affairs, gets such money every single month. And we gave that in the month of May, on a particular day, he got a 10 million naira for special interest. These things are unknown to law. We quoted the account numbers that these things are paid into. I think I want to save them that stress this morning. Again, we established how contractors were giving kickbacks to, number one, staff, and of course the big ogas. You have contractors that collect money, and within 24 hours, the entire thing has been swept from the account. You will see some go to private individuals, many of them, then you see the rest go to BDC operators in some cases. In some cases, you see contractors that got money.
I'd like to interrupt you here.
Like 90%
I'd
went
like to interrupt you here.
Okay.
Because these are issues you dealt with in our last conversation with you. And these are issues that should be dealt with by the forensic audit team that is in place. And it's the reason why I was surprised.
No. It shouldn't. No.
Well,
Dr. Abati, let me make that correction. Forensic audit covers inception to October 2019. Forensic audit will not cover the period we are talking about. The period here is between October 29 and now. Forensic audit will not cover that. Forensic audit is meant to cover from 2000 to 2019. That is what the people must understand. So that you don't say that, oh, this will disturb the auditing. It will not disturb the auditing at all. As a matter of fact, auditing will take care of those 19 years, but the tenure of the IMC members there now are meant to be taken care of by the present
okay, your point is
investigation.
well taken. You want the forensic audit extended. But I was also surprised that you made the comment earlier on that no action is being taken against corruption by the government. The whole idea of the audit is to take action against forensic audit. And also, you've seen what has been happening recently in some other departments of government. There are two quick questions for you. There's this allegation also that some NGOs, non-governmental organizations, for one reason or the other that may not be properly established, are on the payroll of the NDDC, possibly for services not rendered. Is that true? Is your own NGO also on that list? That's one. Secondly, some people have also alleged that in the light of recent developments, the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs should be asked to step aside. Do you agree with that view? Do you think that the president should take that decision so that, you know, the extension of the forensic audit can be carried out without prejudice?
Let me start from the one that concerns me directly. Any NGO that collects money should please be arrested. We are not part of. We can't. In fact, we are not such. By God's grace, I repeat, by God's grace. Thank God. Thank God. You can bear witness to our activities. If we have money, we will not be doing journalism for free. We will call press conference and the highest we'll give will be, 3,000, 5,000 to top journalists. I mean that shows, that shows what we have anyway. Nigerians have supported us. We are not part of those NGOs that collected money, please. And I said it somewhere this morning that, number one, Dr. Cairo made the allegation. I want to put aside the allegations and, in fact, the fact I have against him, and also want to take that very serious. 50 billion is not any small amount at all. However, I have issues. The date he mentioned, I have checked the record for that day. There was no such amount paid out at all to any NGO. But I want to believe that he might have gotten the date wrong. So if there is anything like that, let him please give us documents. We will fight this battle by ourselves. How can you move out 50 billion naira? Money that belongs to the people, that belongs to the Niger Delta people, who are suffering day and night. And you pay some NGOs, perhaps that sit here in Abuja, they do nothing. I think that is an aberration. But we want them to please supply us with facts so we can also take up this battle once and for all. Then, number two, what do I think about the call for the minister to step aside? I don't think he should step aside. He should be sacked. I have told you clearly that the minister, maybe not here. Can you ask him what he has done in his own ministry? Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs. That place is dead. There is nothing going on there. The man does not even go to the office. He runs NDDC from his guest house and his house. They just come from PH, Port Harcourt, and report to his house, the member of the commission. Nobody knows what. Ask the PS, ask the Minister of State, ask the director of the ministry if they know what is going on in that ministry or NDDC. The minister should not be allowed to step aside. He should be sacked. Imagine what he brought himself to do in your studio.
Well, thank you.
He should be sacked once and for all.
Thank you, Kolawole Johnson. Your point is very clear. And thank you very much indeed for honoring our invitation.